The dishes hovered suspended as my mother chuckled, a chilling cackle rather than a comforting one. "It was astonishing you deigned to appear," she remarked, her gaze sweeping over me as if I were an unsightly smudge. "You seldom commit to anything." I observed the server hesitate, my risotto quivering on its porcelain pedestal amidst the murmur of 50 guests and the tinkling crystalware. My sister radiated under fairy lights, oblivious. A familiar warmth surged within me, settling steadily. Control was crucial, a lesson gleaned from them. We had once been a family that roared with approval and loved selectively. In my youth, they cheered when I brought home trophies. When I faltered merely once, they exposed my vulnerabilities, terming it honesty. They asserted it made me resilient. It instead silenced me. The restaurant was a haven I discovered years after departing their residence. Not merely a location, but a notion, a cranny in the wall that bore the aroma of onions and aspiration. In the pre-dawn hours, I mopped floors. At dusk, I negotiated leases. I rested on invoices. There, I learned the subtleties of power when it wasn't openly wielded. My parents never inquired about my activities. Instead, they informed others I was self-discovering, a subtle way of saying I was aimless. When I transferred funds home to assist with my sister's education expenses, my father expressed gratitude as one does to a waiter, politely and forgettably. The insults didn't begin tonight. Tonight was merely public. I recognized the change several months ago, the manner in which my mother amended my narratives, the way my father spoke over me. More forcefully, more slowly, as if I had grown dull. At family gatherings, they celebrated my sister's fiancé, his career, his vehicle, his future. Then glanced at me, awaiting the punchline. I smiled, always smiling. The proof crept up unassumingly, a message meant for another recipient. At least she didn't amount to much, my mother texted, one less source of embarrassment. I fixated on the screen until the pain subsided. Then I filed it away. That was when I started planning. I didn't challenge them, I didn't seek apologies. I followed their teachings. I invested wisely and waited patiently. 6 weeks ago, I completed the purchase of this restaurant. I maintained the name, the manager, and my silence. Memorized the staff roster, identified those needing overtime, those with children, and those who listened. Tonight was my sister's engagement celebration, venue chosen by parents admiring the chandeliers, oblivious to the signatories of the checks. Back to current times, my mother's laughter lingered. Father leaned in. "Don't take it personally," he said. "We just want the best for you. Learn from your sister." I scrutinized the servers who returned my gaze, dropped my napkin, calm and clinical, stood and approached the host stand. Conversations hushed into curiosity. Manager noticed me, halted service. No more bread, no refills, entrees held back. Heat lamps shut off. A hush fell, making people glance at their watches. Whispers sharpened. My mother signaled a server, nothing. Father displeased by the inconvenience. The financier's mother expressed her displeasure audibly. My sister eventually noticed this situation. I resumed my seat at the table, folding my hands. "Is everything okay?" my sister inquired. I made eye contact with my parents. "No, it's fine," I replied. "It's perfect." My father rose. "We are anticipating our meal." I was aware of this. A sense of perplexity spread. The manager arrived, maintaining a calm demeanor. "Ladies and gentlemen, we regret the delay." "The proprietor has demanded a halt," my mother scoffed. "Summon the proprietor." The manager directed his gaze towards me. I didn't flash a smile. I never do when the situation calls for it. "I am the proprietor," I stated. The room seemed to sway. Cutlery clattered as hands trembled. My mother's mouth gaped open and shut. My father's countenance lost its customary assurance. Nearly 50 patrons gazed at me, reminiscent of an extravagant magic trick's unveiling. "You." My mother murmured, "Indeed." I stood once more. "I have been listening for a long time. Tonight it ends." I addressed the staff. "Each of you will receive your full wages and may depart early." A burst of applause attempted to commence. I halted it with a gesture. "Silence." "To my parents," I whispered softly yet profoundly. "Thank you for instructing me about disrespect. Feel free to depart." They remained silent. They couldn't refute. Power acknowledges its own. They all departed ravenous, all of them in due course. After the lights faded and the final chair was arranged, I sat solitary at the bar. I experienced no dramatic sensations, no explosions, only a tranquil, unassuming liberation. Justice isn't boisterous. It's exact. I didn't disrupt a celebration. I concluded a tale. They will surely narrate it differently, as they always do. But among the empty dishes and unattended slights, they grasped what I had understood long ago. You don't require authorization to rise. You merely need perseverance and the bravery to cease catering to those who never merit a place at your side.